Whoa. So good. Wow. So a lot of us really love curry, don't we? But it feels kind of overwhelming and like too much. There's 20 different seasonings involved. You have to cook it all day. It's never going to be as good as the local takeout place. Am I right? Let me tell you, this recipe is actually easy. It's easy. It's simple. I think it only uses like 5 seasonings. And we're going to try to get this done in 20 minutes today. I am starting with garlic today. This is a head of garlic. That's correct. An entire head of garlic. However, if you are sensitive to garlic or just don't like it, I suppose you could probably leave it out or use the amount that you like. One thing that I always want my recipes to do is to be easy and to be easily manipulated or changed to your taste. So let's get these chopped up and we're going to throw them in our pan. And this recipe is so flavorful. It's just crazy, crazy good. And, you know, it's hard to believe it's a curry when it's this simple. Like I always say, I don't mind getting a big piece of garlic. I really love a lot of flavor. But, you know, some people are more sensitive and should do what works for you. All right, let's get this stuff cooking. I'm going to turn my heat on medium-high. And I've just got some coconut oil here that I'm going to use. You could use a different oil of your choice or no oil at all, whichever you'd rather. I'm going to throw my garlic in. This is a super easy recipe. If you're a beginner cook, you can do this recipe, I promise. Our garlic is toasting. The one thing you don't want to do is burn your garlic. Actually, don't burn your garlic. It's bitter. It doesn't taste good. Just don't burn your garlic. Okay. So into this, I'm going to turn this temp down a little bit because you know how this thing is. It cooks too fast. I have got coriander and cumin in here. I'm going to throw that in and let that get toasted for a second. And I just bought some crushed tomatoes. This is just fresh tomatoes, nothing else. That's going to go in. So we're going to go in with about 2 inches or tablespoons of ginger. I always have fresh ginger on hand. As a matter of fact, I throw fresh ginger into my smoothie. Just a personal story is that ginger's been really helpful in healing my stomach. I have a lot of stomach problems since I went celiac, and it's actually been really helpful. So I'm just going to give this a quick peel. There's some kind of spoon method for peeling ginger. I need to really learn about that. Spoon method. If you know how to do it, let me know in the comments. This guy is fibrous, man. He doesn't want to peel at all. Okay. I've tried a lot of different methods for chopping my ginger and stuff. What I find really works is just to grate it. People do not like a big bite of ginger in their mouth. It can be overwhelming. I actually like it a lot because I'm used to it, but not everybody wants that. And you could replace this with ginger powder, but honestly, it's never going to be as good with anything other than the fresh ginger. All right, some of this is fibrous. I'm going to remove the fibrous parts, and I'm going to put the rest of it in. All right, we're now going in with some turmeric, salt, and cayenne. And if you're sensitive to cayenne, this is just, I think my recipe is already linked below. And this just calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. That gives it a pretty good medium heat, in my opinion. But, you know, we all taste heat differently. If you're sensitive, you could completely leave it out, or you could put like 1/8 of a teaspoon. And if you really like a lot of heat, double it if you want to, whatever. All right, so when I created this recipe, I used 2 medium sweet potatoes that I cubed into about 1-inch pieces. This is smaller than 1 inch. But what I looked for, I'm dropping stuff. I went out and I looked for a frozen cooked chopped sweet potato because I wanted to see if we could make this quicker than usual. So when I used 2 fresh sweet potatoes, it took about 40 minutes for me to cook them to be soft. So these sweet potatoes have already been cooked. So I'm gonna throw that on. So that should actually cook up really fast. If you don't want to buy frozen sweet potatoes, but you still want it to happen quickly, you could literally microwave or bake a couple of sweet potatoes and then cut them into cubes without this. I would do it without the skin. The skin would be weird on this. So when I cook this with raw sweet potatoes, it requires a whole cup of water. Since I'm using frozen, I'm not going to use a whole cup. I'm going to start with about half a cup. You kind of want this curry to be thick. I mean, most of us have had curry. We kind of know what the texture should be like. So I'm going to put in about half. You can always add more, but if you add too much, just let it cook for a little bit and some of those liquids will cook out. Since my sweet potatoes are already cooked, I've got 1.5 cups of chickpeas. These are already cooked. I cooked these from dried. I'm just going to throw that in. And I've got some coconut milk that I'm going to put in. And if you guys were concerned with the fat in the coconut milk, you guys could just use like a plant milk. I would probably reduce it to about 3/4 of a cup though, because it's going to be less thick than this. Yeah, so it's a little watery, but as it cooks, it should thicken. So we'll just let that cook for a couple minutes. So I like to sneak greens in as much as possible. A lot of us have trouble getting greens down, so any place that I can just add a cup of greens or something, I do. So I've got some kale. This is actually dinosaur kale. Okay, so I like to take my chickpeas, I like to soak them for a period of time. It really just depends how much time I have, but I always try to soak them for at least half an hour. And then I always rinse them. I rinse them before I cook them. I rinse them after I soak them. So I rinse them. I give them fresh water. I cook them on a low simmer for an hour covered. And then I let them sit on the heat, with the stove off for another hour, and that cooks them. I don't have an Instapot right now, so that's just like the best way for me to do it. This is looking really good, guys. This is actually pretty much cooked almost. So I like to throw the greens in towards the end. They'll wilt just in a couple of minutes being on the heat. And you're really not going to get that much on your plate, but it'll give you a little of that vitamin K, which we all need. And I'm just going to throw in some tomatoes. I've got about half a package of just grape tomatoes here. You could use any tomatoes you like, or no tomatoes, or more tomatoes. It's going to be done so fast. It's going to be my fastest show ever. All right, tomatoes are in. Those are just going to cook for a minute. And if you guys are enjoying this content, please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you interact with my channel, it really helps the channel be shown to new viewers, whether you like, subscribe, when you put a comment, not in the chat, but when you put a comment on any of my regular videos, that's really helpful. You can also share this video, and that helps as well. So the last part of this dish is we're just going to throw some cilantro on. So I'm going to do about a cup of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, maybe you could try some parsley. I don't know, I'd be careful. Parsley can be super flavorful. Cilantro is flavorful too, but it does go with the dish. So I am dressed for fall. What do you guys think? Is everybody ready for fall, or is it just me? I'm coming out with some new fall recipes soon. I'm doing a pasta in a pumpkin sauce, which is like so freaking good. And I know, like, thinking of a pumpkin sauce with pasta may sound like, I don't know if I like that, but it is like really, really good. I am working on a sweet potato gnocchi recipe. I'm just ready for fall. I just really, really am. All right, I just want to mix this in and give this a little taste to make sure my seasonings are right. Whoa. So good. Wow. Wow, so good. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some rice. All right, I just have a small amount of rice there. This is cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Doesn't that look good? Yummy. Do I have a taster? Let's eat. I'm starving. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Do you want some of this?
Oh, yeah.
Does it look good?
Oh, that looks beautiful.
It's delicious. It's so freaking good. It's very hot. It's always hot. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you may take that. This is
so good.
I'm like waiting for this bite to cool down a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so good. It really has a complex flavor. From the garlic to the cilantro to the turmeric and all the other ingredients. It's really, really good. I hope you guys will go out and buy these ingredients. It's very easy to make. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, you're a beautiful gem and I love you. Have a great week, friends.